So in March 29th, Sony revealed the Sony ZV-E1. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about the reasons why I purchased or pre-ordered the ZV-E1. I have my ZV-E10 for just a visual aid. Pretty much the ZV-E1 will look very similar to this, minus a few other like hardware features. And of course the sensor size. So I'm not going to talk to you guys about the specs or anything like that. There's a crap ton of videos on YouTube already, but I'm going to be talking about why I decided to actually go through with it. So I willingly bought this camera knowing that it has a few faults, and they're actually pretty big ones, significant ones. For example, the camera will overheat if you use it in, the outdoors. I can't remember exactly what temperature it is, but that is a huge thing that I decided I still don't care. I'm gonna get this camera anyway. I live in an area called the Imperial Valley. I keep talking about it, but this because nobody knows about this place. When you think of California, you don't think of Imperial Valley. You think of San Diego, San Francisco, Los Angeles. Those are the areas people think of. But here, it's the desert, the middle of nowhere, pretty much the last county before you reach Arizona, and we're just about 15 minutes away from the border. This place is very hot. Our phones, our cameras, anything will overheat here. So I want to be able to put this camera through the test in extreme heat. I live in extreme heat. It gets around 110 degrees Fahrenheit, sometimes even 120 plus degrees in the summer. When I say that I will be testing this camera in the heat, it'll be in the heat. So to give you guys some context, I run with my Sony a7 IV. Love this thing. This is my main workhorse. It gets me through everything, but there are things that are lacking in it that I wanted to get. So I was looking into getting the FX3 or the Sony a7S III. Before I actually purchased any of those cameras, I found out that this was going to be a thing, that the Sony ZV-E1 will be released. And I was like, 12 megapixel sensor, no crop 4K 60 and 4K 120 in a future update. I do commercials, weddings, birthdays, events, everything pretty much. I've done a lot. I definitely need my camera to be able to do a lot for me. Of course, this camera has done me so well over the last year, and it's still going to be my main camera. And this is what I shoot with as a professional. Like, it's got the dual SD cards and whatnot. It's my main thing, but this camera does leave me lacking in things that I want. And what I'm really looking for is when I don't have sufficient lighting and my camera can't give me the best image that I could possibly ask for in those low light situations. And that's where the ZV-E1 comes in with that 12 megapixel sensor. It's super awesome in low light. Another thing that I really need are high frame rates with minimal crop. High frame rates with minimal crop. I used to not give a crap about cropping, but now as I continue to want to better my quality and as just a content creator, I'm starting to understand why people get upset with crop factor. It is what it is. I came from an APS-C background. I started with APS-C like most of us do. You get used to it, but once you go to full frame, it's really hard to go back and be okay with crop. Another thing that this thing is lacking in, aside from the low light, is the high frame rates. I do get 4K 60, but it's at a crop like I was mentioning earlier, and the Sony ZV-E1 doesn't. I did touch a little bit upon the overheating. For me, it is what it is, but I want to push it. I want to see how far the ZV-E1 can go. I want to see exactly at one point when I'm in 110 degrees, how long I can have this thing on 4K 120 or 4K 60. I want to be able to show you guys this is going to be exactly how it is, and not like everybody else just speculating or having said that they experienced this without recording it. And that's like my biggest thing. I get it. It's like the small form factor, a lot of processing, a lot of data going through this camera, and of course it's going to overheat. That's fine with me. I still have my a7 IV, and I think that's what a lot of people aren't considering. There's so many factors to why someone wants to buy the ZV-E1. That's my reason for pre-ordering this camera. It's because I want access to pretty much the FX3 and the a7S III, but at a cheaper cost. I was ready to go and just dump all this money on these very expensive cameras, but I hear that this thing comes out, it's like, this is a great B cam for me, and it might even be my main camera. I don't know. I might, because I haven't experienced it yet, and many other people haven't experienced using this camera, they don't know how they'll feel. And for everybody who's knocking down this camera, why not wait for more reviews to come out that have gone to the general public rather than these big YouTubers and reviewers that get early access to these pre-production models? They still really haven't done all the testing. I know that Geraldine Dunn has done this one thing, but he doesn't live where I live. I want to see this camera go up against extreme heat. I am not going to do this whole scientific video like all these other people have. It's just real world use with someone who just creates content like the rest of you guys. Until everyone else has it in their hands, I still think it's too early to say whether or not this camera can or cannot be used for pros, even though pros are saying it's not for pros. I don't know. I'm not a pro. I just make money doing this. This is more of like a rant than it is giving you guys reasons, but if you want to see said video come out in the future, I don't know when Sony will actually start shipping out these cameras. I ordered mine from B&H. And it says back ordered, so I'm assuming it's going to be a while until I get that camera in my hands. But once I do, I will be testing it. Like right now we're in the 80s, almost 90s here where I live, and it's April. Yeah, it's gonna get really hot. Anyways, to recap, because I got on a tangent, the reason why I bought this camera is because it is almost half the price of the FX3, but I get that same sensor, autofocus, higher frame rates, and low light capabilities. That's pretty much it. Don't care for all the faults. That's just me. I know there's plenty of other people who disagree with that, but that's just my case, not yours. Anyway, back to the video. Before you go, if you want to see those videos, subscribe, give this video a like, comment below your thoughts on the ZV-E. Is it a good camera for you? Okay, all right, that's it. Bye.